All right, let's crank things up a notch today because we're diving into the world of incinerator operators.
It's a pretty hot topic.
You got that right. And if you're out there thinking about a career in this field, we're here to make sure you absolutely nail that interview.
We're going to walk you through the job, the interview questions, even how those AI recruiters work, so you're totally prepped.
And of course, we'll throw in some tips on how RoleCatcher can, well, be your secret weapon through it all.
That's right. This is about setting yourself apart, showing them you're not just here to, push buttons. It's a skilled job, and it's important.
Absolutely. Okay, so first things first. What exactly does an incinerator operator do all day? It's got to be more than just like flipping switches, right?
Oh, way more. You're basically the conductor of this whole high-temperature orchestra, you could say. You're running the show, making sure everything runs smoothly, efficiently, and most importantly, safely.
And according to our career guide, there's a lot of regulations and protocols involved too, environmental stuff.
Yeah, definitely. This isn't a career where you can just wing it. Attention to detail is huge, and you got to be on top of those procedures. But that's why good operators are so valuable. They keep things running right and keep everyone safe.
Right on. Okay, so let's get down to those interview questions. We've got a whole list here, and trust me, they're designed to make you sweat a little.
Well, maybe not sweat. But the point is to give you a little peek behind the curtain, let you know what the interviewer's really trying to figure out.
Exactly. All right, let's fire up the first question. What motivated you to pursue a career as an incinerator operator? Seems simple enough, right?
It does, but here's the thing. Everyone gives the generic answer, oh, it seemed like a good fit, or I need a job. Don't be that person.
So what should you say instead? What are they looking for?
Passion. Show them you're genuinely interested in this field in particular. What is it about this work that sparked something for you?
So instead of just saying it seemed like a good fit, you should.
Try something like, I've always been fascinated by how we deal with waste, the whole science of it. And being an incinerator operator, for me, that's about using those skills to make a real difference for the environment.
See, now you're talking. You've gone beyond just wanting a job and connected it to something bigger.
Exactly. And honestly, that's where RoleCatcher can really help you out.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, their AI analyzes the job description, pulls out those keywords that catch the hiring manager's eye, maybe even suggests some skills or experiences you could highlight that really align with what they're looking for.
So it's like having a personalized interview coach right in your pocket. I love it. Okay, what's next on our list of burning questions?
All right, let's see. Here we go. What are the primary responsibilities of an incinerator operator? Now, this is where you show them you've done your research.
Don't just parrot back the job description, though.
Right. They want to hear that you understand what's involved day to day and that you're prepared to hit the ground running.
So how should you structure an answer like this?
Well, I'd start by breaking it down into key areas. Like first, I'd be responsible for the safe and efficient daily operation of the incineration system, monitoring those temperatures, pressures, making sure the waste feed rate is on point.
Okay, so that covers the hands-on stuff. What else?
Then you got to emphasize the safety and compliance aspect, right? Something like, I'd be super strict about following all safety protocols, doing those regular equipment checks, and making sure we're always in line with environmental regulations.
Gotcha. So you're showing them you're responsible and knowledgeable.
Exactly. And to really seal the deal, you can wrap up with a little problem solving. Say something like, and of course, if any issues pop up, I'm ready to troubleshoot and use my experience to get things back on track.
Love it. Okay, this next one's a bit more intense. Ready? What are the hazards associated with working in an incinerator plant?
Yeah. This one's all about gauging your safety awareness. They're not looking for someone who's oblivious to the risks, right?
They want someone who understands the dangers and knows how to handle them.
Exactly. So be honest, be specific. Mention things like, well, I know we're working with high temperatures, heavy machinery, potentially hazardous materials. That means constant vigilance, following all the safety protocols, proper PPE, and being proactive about safety training.
That's where RoleCatcher comes in handy too, doesn't it?
Oh, for sure. They've got a whole database of industry-specific safety regulations, best practices. Might even suggest mentioning certain safety certifications that employers really value.
Like having a virtual safety manual in your back pocket.
Okay.
So smart. Okay, keep it on that safety train. How about this one? How do you ensure that the incineration process is carried out efficiently and effectively?
This one is all about showcasing your process. They want to know, how do you monitor the system? What are your key indicators for success? They want to see those critical thinking skills.
Like you're not just going through the motions, you're really thinking about how to optimize everything.
Right. So you could say something like, I'm really meticulous about monitoring those key indicators. Temperature, pressure, waste feed rate, that kind of thing. And I'll adjust things as needed to make sure we're running at peak efficiency. Plus, I'm a big believer in proactive maintenance. Preventing problems is way better than reacting to them.
I like that. Proactive. Shows you're thinking ahead. Okay, this next one can be a bit of a curveball for some. How do you handle hazardous waste materials?
Here, they're looking for your commitment to safety and, of course, making sure you understand the regulations around hazardous waste.
So it's not enough to just say, I'd follow the rules.
Nope, got to be more specific. Talk about the actual procedures, the importance of labeling everything correctly, all the documentation, and what could happen if things aren't handled properly.
Give me an example of a really solid answer.
Sure, you could say something like, handling hazardous waste is a huge responsibility, and I don't take it lightly. I'm really careful about following every single protocol, from wearing the right PPE to using the designated equipment and documenting each step. And of course, making sure all the disposal methods are in line with all the local, state, and federal regulations.
Wow, okay. You're making me feel extra cautious just hearing that, which I think is the point, right?
Exactly. They want to see that you're not messing around when it comes to safety and compliance.
All right, let's keep this train moving. How do you troubleshoot issues that arise during the incineration process?
Because things don't always go perfectly right.
That's for sure. This is where those problem-solving skills come in. They want to know you can handle the pressure and make good decisions when things get tricky.
So what's the best way to approach this kind of question? I like to break it down into steps. First, safety first. I'd immediately assess the situation, make sure everyone's safe. Then, figure out the problem. Systematically check the readings, inspect the equipment, review the logs, and finally, implement a solution. Take action based on what I find, following the procedures or escalating the issue if needed.
Staying calm, logical, having a plan. Solid advice. And hey, isn't this another area where a RoleCatcher can give you an edge?
100%. Their AI can analyze your answers, give you feedback on how you come across, help you refine those problem-solving skills so you really shine.
Like having a personal coach for your brain. All right, shifting gears a bit. How do you ensure that the incinerator plant is operating in compliance with regulatory standards?
This is all about showing them you get it. You understand why environmental responsibility matters and that you're going to uphold the highest standards.
It's more than just knowing the rules. It's about really believing in them.
Totally. So you could say something like, for me, compliance isn't optional. I'm on top of all the environmental regulations, maybe even mention some specific ones here. I'm meticulous about monitoring emissions, keeping those records squeaky clean, and always staying updated on any changes in regulations or best practices.
It's like you're not just following the rules, you're setting the bar.
Exactly. Let them see your passion for this stuff. It makes a difference.
Okay, time for a curveball. How do you manage the incinerator plant's budget and finances? Wait, I thought we were talking about operating machinery, not spreadsheets.
Right, you're not going to be balancing the books all day.
Yeah.
But they're trying to see if you understand the bigger picture. Can you make cost-effective decisions? Do you think about the bottom line?
Being mindful of resources and how your work impacts the plant financially. Got it.
Exactly. Focus on what you can control. You could say, well, obviously my main focus is running the plant safely and efficiently, but I know my decisions affect the budget too. I'm all about minimizing waste, optimizing fuel efficiency, making sure the equipment lasts as long as possible through proper maintenance.
Now that shows you're thinking long-term, thinking about the financial health of the whole operation.
Smart.
And guess what? RoleCatcher can actually help you out here too.
They've got data on industry benchmarks, cost-saving strategies, all sorts of things that could give you some ammo for this question.
Like having a secret weapon for sounding extra financially savvy. Okay, ready for one more?
Hit me.
All right, last one for this section. How do you ensure that the incinerator plant is running at peak efficiency? This feels like a good one to flex those analytical muscles.
For sure. This is where you get to show them you're proactive, you're always looking for ways to improve, and you're all about optimization.
So instead of just saying, I'd make sure everything's running smoothly, what would a really strong answer sound like?
Something like this. Well, I'm all about that data-driven approach to efficiency. I'd be keeping a close eye on all those key performance indicators. Waste throughput, energy output, emissions levels,
Oh.
the whole 9 yards. And if I see something off, I don't just ignore it. I investigate, figure out what's going on, and then work with the team to come up with solutions and make things even better.
Now that is what I call taking charge. It shows you're not just content with the way things are, you're always pushing for more.
Right, you're invested.
And I bet RoleCatcher could give you some solid data points to back all that up.
Absolutely. They've got insights into industry best practices, performance benchmarks, real-world examples to make your answers even stronger.
That's like having a direct line to the best in the business. All right, before we wrap up this part of our Incinerator adventure, let's talk about where this career can take you. You aced the interview, you got the job. What's next?
Great question. The cool thing is, there's a clear path for growth here. Our career guide actually lays out the typical stages, starting with entry-level incinerator operator.
So for someone just starting out, what does that look like day to day?
You're learning the ropes, shadowing the more experienced operators, getting a feel for the daily tasks, monitoring systems, doing some basic maintenance, maybe helping out with waste handling. It's all about building that solid foundation.
Soaking it all in.
Exactly. Then, once you've got those basics down, you move up to junior incinerator operator. More independence, more responsibility. You might be running the incinerator yourself, troubleshooting those minor issues, keeping those meticulous records.
Showing them you can handle those day-to-day operations like a pro.
Precisely. And for those who are in it for the long haul, you can climb that ladder to senior incinerator operator.
So we're talking leadership roles now.
You got it. You might be supervising a team, developing safety protocols, making sure everyone's following those regulations. It's a big step up.
That's awesome. I love hearing about all the growth opportunities in this field.
And it doesn't stop there. From senior operator, you can become a lead operator, managing a bigger team, taking on even more responsibility. And then the top of the heap, supervisor or even manager of incinerator operations. You're basically running the whole show.
Talk about a hot career path. It's inspiring to see how far you can go with hard work, dedication, and never stopping learning.
Couldn't agree more. And you know what's been there every step of the way? Our trusty friend, RoleCatcher. From that very first resume to those big-time leadership interviews, it's got your back.
Like a career guardian angel armed with algorithms. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground here, but stick around for the final part of this sizzling hot series, where we'll leave you with a final thought to really get those gears turning. Back again for the final round. Ready to wrap up this incinerator adventure.
Let's do it. We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we?
Yeah, from the nitty-gritty of operating those systems to, the whole safety and environmental responsibility side of things. It's been pretty intense.
It has. So for this last part, I thought, why don't we get a little, philosophical?
Ooh, I like where this is going. Get philosophical. I'm intrigued.
So we've talked about acing the interview, climbing that career ladder. But let's talk about the future. Where do you see the role of an incinerator operator going in the next, say, 10 years? With everything changing, sustainability becoming so important, what do you think?
That's a really good question. It's not just about, running the machines anymore, is it? It's about being part of something bigger, finding new ways to manage waste, protect the environment.
Exactly. So when you walk into that interview, you got to know the technical stuff, but let them see that passion too, that you're excited to be part of this evolving field.
Show them that you're not just there to, punch a clock.
Yeah.
You want to make a real difference. And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our Incinerator Operator deep dive.
It's been fun.
Totally. And to everyone out there who's considering this career path, we say, go for it. You got this. And hey, don't forget about RoleCatcher. Seriously, it's an amazing tool.
Couldn't agree more. It's like having a secret weapon for your job search.
A secret weapon armed with AI. All right, that's it for us. Best of luck out there, everyone.